12,819 missed the examinations. The exams were written in March 30th and 31st, 2021, due to the unusual circumstances.
Teachers admitted that they registered primary 6 pupils, mostly girls, to sit the PLA. The reason given for this was that parents were worried about girls' fast growth, and
the results indicate that pupils from urban schools and non-UPE performed better than government UPE schools. This was attributed to parents' involvement in their children's education, mostly in urban areas. However, the Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, says education of children is a shared responsibility by government and parents.
So you cannot blame education when it's not well done on just school or government even. We have to share this blame. The UPE and USE schools are not doing well yet because we have no support from the families that take care of children.
The best done subject was SST. Mathematics had a slight drop in performance across all 3 pass levels, and English, there was overall improvement in performance at the minimum pass level.
Indeed, when you look at the distinction level for science, we are recording 10.9% of the children who are able to pass this subject with a distinction compared to 4.9% in the previous year, showing a remarkable improvement. We have reported in previous years the candidates' performance in English and mathematics tended to be a little poorer in questions that require them to have free expression or to apply concepts that they have learned to solve problems. Where the questions were a bit more direct and based on recall, the performance has been good.
Results of 2,220 candidates have been withheld, pending completion of investigations. According to UNEB, the largest number of withheld results are from districts of Bundibujo and Kasese in the Rwenzori sub-region.
So 3 cases of impersonation, where other people other than the registered candidates were brought to write the examination for those who were registered. Security personnel also arrested some people who were vending fake papers on the eve of the examination. But unlike in 2019, the cases of fake papers were much fewer.
UNEB reports that scouts and examiners reported a number of cases of suspected external assistance given to candidates inside examination rooms by third parties and cases of impersonation. The First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports expressed disappointment that some teachers and schools continue to involve themselves in examination malpractice.
This type of corruption must be put to an end. It is my prayer and hope that when investigations are completed, those culpable will be subjected to the penalties prescribed in the law, and UNEB shall name and shame such schools.
I'm Navka Farida in Entebbe.
Minister for Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, has hailed the role of digital learning for enabling pupils to stay active even during the COVID-19 lockdown. She was speaking shortly after the release of PLE results at State House Entebbe, as we see in this report.
The COVID-19 pandemic led to the closure of schools in March 2020 as a preventive measure against the further spread of COVID-19, affecting children and their ability to read and write. In response, the Minister of Education and Sports devised means of making learning more accessible to children to ensure continuity. In addition to distributing study materials, the Minister also facilitated digital learning on radios and television.
Hello viewers, this is UBC, your public broadcaster, with me, teacher Minya Michael.
God bless you all. God bless Uganda.
While releasing the 2020 PLE results, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Mama Janet Museveni, hailed the homeschooling initiative as having contributed to the good performance.
For the primary 7 class of 2020, did benefit largely from the home study materials we heavily invested in. We supplemented lessons through radio and television broadcasts in regions where such services were enriched.
Mama Janet observed that despite the pandemic, the number of registered candidates increased by 7.75% in 2020 than the previous 5 years.
Sadly, 12,819 registered candidates were not able to show up for the exams. Now, whereas the rate of absentee candidates has been on the decrease from 2.7% on registered candidates in 2016 to 1.7% in 2020, our education system needs to account for this category of learners who register but never do the exams. This is where we need the help from the parents, because we must track these children who register because they want to do exams but never get to do them.
Responding to the media about the 20 billion relief funds to teachers in private schools, Janet Museveni and former Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education Alex Kakoza, said data is being collected to ensure equitable distribution.
We agreed, they agreed and requested us, the political leadership, Mama, to approve that in the interim, just like the Walimu Sacco did, in the interim, they begin using the Microfinance Support Center to manage their resources as they form their own, as they agree, the fund manager. So, Mama, the political leadership, yourself, has agreed to their proposal, and now we are waiting for them now to engage the Microfinance Support Center with the assistance of the ministry to agree the modalities of distribution of this money. So the money is now available for the teachers.
The State Minister for Primary Education, Dr. Joyce Muriku Kaduchu, said that teachers are to benefit from the 100,000 relief fund.
So I want to say yes, there is a lot of hope in terms of identifying these people. It's one of the easiest exercise, and it is still on progress. And also, Mama, not that all of them have not received these funds. I want to say this allegation is not correct. Some of them to date have received the fund, but others have not received. We are very hopeful that given the extension, they will all receive, those who have been earmarked to receive this benefit.
According to the Minister of Education and Sports, the details of selection exercise for Senior 1 will be communicated later, but not before the lockdown has been lifted. Bernard Higa, UBC News.
The release of 2020 National Primary Living Examinations has sparked celebrations in homes after most of the children received their results through SMS. Candidates were able to access their results by typing PLE, then space, full index number, then the candidate, and send to 6600 on their mobile phones through all mobile telecom networks.
PLE 2020.
The release of the 2021 Primary Living Examinations has been exceptional from all previous years. Schools under lock and key, students at home only allowed to celebrate with family members, communication with head teachers done on phone, and no one predicting a year like this. Unlike previous celebrations that garnered hundreds, families checked via SMS, then the party and excitement started. Diana Balaba, a mother to Musmenta Lucas, a pupil of Seta Junior School, couldn't hide joy with news that her son had scored 6 aggregates. Despite being in a home setup, the joy that comes after achieving was inevitable. At Nakasero Primary School, a government-aided school, premises were lock and key. The head teacher, Richard Abura, was monitoring results on phone. To him, he was content with the results given the nature of learning during the pandemic.
The Ministry of Education is working on a program, because by the time the second lockdown came in, the P6s and then the P1 to P3, they were given about 7 months, which they would have ended on the 24th of this July.
At Nachivo Blue Primary School, one teacher was present monitoring the situation. The head teacher, Agnes Kabalisa, couldn't accommodate the overwhelming numbers of students who wanted to come in to check their results. We took a foot at the neighborhood residing at the fire brigade headquarters, explaining the hardship they went through to reach stardom.
When we were still at school, we were about to do some papers. They told us that they're going to close all schools. Most people, all of us had the hope that we are going to complete our P7 2020. But in our mind, we came to find out that they had closed lockdown.
At Cornerstone Junior School, 150 pupils sat for PLE, 120 excelling in first grade. The headmaster, Immaculate Mawanda, says that they used the necessary means amidst the pandemic.
The candidates 2020, we appreciate the efforts they put in. They were able to excel, all of them, with 120 of them passing in first grade out of 149. We appreciate God for the fours. Over 6 children passed with 4 aggregates. Over 17 passed with 5 aggregates. We appreciate God so much with that excellent performance despite the difficulties.
And I'm very, very happy for what I've got in PLE. I've got 4 aggregates.
I got 4 aggregates, and I always used to attend Zoom lessons, and it helped me a lot to achieve what I've got today.
I want to thank God that I scored aggregate 4, and I'm really so happy.
At Brain Buttons Grammar Primary School, 25 pupils sat for PLE, 15 got first grade, while 8 were in second grade.
I'm very, very grateful to our boys and girls who have made it. They are the pioneers of Brain Buttons Grammar School. Way back in 2010, we started this school with about 3 children. And over the years, the school has grown organically till 2020, where we managed to present before INEB 23 candidates, and 15 of them have excelled with the first grade. To me, I believe that's a major achievement.
We are much happy and also appreciate our dear headmistress, Madam Adugabire Faith, for the wonderful work, motivation, and the unity she has put in the teachers. I also like to appreciate our dear parents who entrusted us with their children. Thank you very much for entrusting with their children. And indeed, we hope we have really managed to bring at least a smile on your lips. Our candidates are performing very well. The future begins at Brain Buttons.
In second grade. At Elion Kindergarten and Primary School Mutungo, girls performed better than their counterparts. James Kashasi, the head teacher, highlighted that out of 63 pupils who sat for the 2020 PLE, 50 of them excelled in grade 1, while 6 were in grade 2.
The candidates of this year, 2020, they didn't have enough time due to the COVID interference.
At King Fahad Islamic Primary School, Busega, over 82 candidates sat for exams. 70 managed Division 1, 9 in Division 2, while 3 were in Division 3. The other private institution that we visited is Victoria Education Services, where the head teacher was ecstatic after learning that the pupils had performed well. Dr. Barbara Ofono Buyondo said that they embraced e-learning that was key to their success.
Lockdown started, we shared with our parents about distance learning, especially online learning. Most parents had a lot of reservations on that, because some were thinking their children are going to get spoiled. Others were saying, you know, I'm in lockdown, I haven't yet bought gadgets.
By press time, celebrations were still ongoing.
Yes, we congratulate all the P7 leavers and wish them all the best. President Yoweri Museveni, in other news, has challenged leaders to embrace finding solutions to people's problems. Addressing the parliamentary caucus of the National Resistance Movement at Kololo Independence Grounds, Museveni vowed to consolidate Uganda's security. This was during elections for the executive leadership of the NRM Parliamentary Caucus, as Henry Okurut reports.
I, Dr. Tango Doi, being the returning officer of the NRM Parliamentary Caucus Executive Committee elections for position of Vice Chairperson, hereby declare the results as follows.
This Friday evening declaration of election results in Kololo was a culmination of a day-long exercise by the ruling National Resistance Movement. It was an election for the NRM Parliamentary Caucus leadership. Lillian Abe, the Kitugumu woman member of parliament, became the general secretary, while Herbert Kinobere of Kibuku County became vice chairperson.
Candidate Kinobere Tom Herbert, total number of votes 130, a percentage of 54.9.
But behind this attained leadership are challenges that need to be solved to ensure effective service delivery. This is something that NRM party leaders had earlier on alluded to.
Under the stewardship of Right Honourable Prime Minister, we shall follow up with ministers to ensure they attend both plenary and committees where they have business. This will enable us to process government business in a timely manner.
To me, black is black and white is white. I hate shortcuts. I hate blackmail. I hate cliques. We shall not develop a good party when we promote cliques, blackmail, and undermining people.
To emphasize this was party chairman, President Yoweri Museveni. He underscores the need for leaders to prioritize challenges of the masses.
The other needs that you as leaders you need to address is the issue of education. The education of the children of the poor. This is part of the problem. Then health, the drugs in the health centers which are being stolen. You have seen how my monitoring unit has been arresting people stealing drugs. There's so much corruption. You as members of parliament, take interest to go to your health centers and check. That's what you are supposed to check in your area. But finally, the most important challenge you have is the issue of household incomes.
As elections for party caucus leaders ended, he was optimistic in the capacity of newly elected executive.
You have got a very serious problem. Attitude change for your people. You must change the attitude of your people. Because that's where the problem is. For them to understand that you can have a good life from small scale commercial farming with the Chibaro, Chura, Aymar, Otita. This is not a small thing.
Also elected was the NRM party flag bearer for East African Legislative Assembly by-elections, where James Kakoza defeated former State Minister for Tourism, Godfrey Kiwanda Subi.
This person who died was from Buganda. And among the 6 NRM members in Arusha, none of them is in Uganda. There is somebody who says he's in Uganda, but he's not. But he's from Buganda, but not in Uganda. This is Mukasambide. Mbide is a Mnyarwanda, but of Buganda. But he's also a DP on the other side. So we said we said we need to ring fence this for Uganda.
With all this emphasis, what now remains is walking the talk of ensuring effective service. Henry Okrut, UBC.
UBC News Tonight. The Director Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital, Dr. Celestine Barije, has asked Ministry of Health to help equip the facility's COVID-19 isolation center and help carry on their duties. The doctor wants the hospital to be equipped with oxygen to serve its purpose of treating COVID-19 patients in the area.
Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital is one of those hospitals in western Uganda earmarked to handle COVID-19 patients in the region. At the hospital, an isolation center was put up and equipped with the necessary equipment. The isolation center, however, has not received oxygen facilities to help it serve its purpose. The director, Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital, Dr. Celestine Barije, says the isolation center has since not been equipped with oxygen to serve the intended purpose.
So we think that in the new COVID unit, if it were possible, they should give us a larger capacity oxygen plant, which is 30 cubic meters per hour. That would be good enough. Even if you have 50 patients, it can serve them. These ones we have are actually too small to serve the purpose.
Dr. Celestine Barije says the hospital needs about 400 million to acquire an oxygen plant to enhance the two available ones. Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital has only 2 oxygen plants that are currently supplying oxygen to all departments, including the COVID-19 ICU department.
What happens here is that when you look at these COVID patients, when they are there, we also have theater. These plants actually feed into theater for the operations. They feed into emergency. You will see those places. They feed in ICU. So they feed in all those places. Now, when you open widely, then you compromise the plant.
Similarly, the hospital is also faced with a shortage of health workers and delayed payment and overtaxation of risk allowances.
They tax it 30% allowances. And people were like, we have got nothing. Someone who was supposed to get like 900,000 is getting maybe 600 or something like that.
To me, it makes no sense at all that people are getting a very small risk allowance for a very highly infectious disease, and then at the end of the day, the money is being taken. So currently, people are really demotivated, but we keep them encouraged, you know, that at the end of the day, we are called to serve and say,
I am here to promise you that we are going to support you. And that we should also waive off the taxes on risk allowances. It doesn't make sense to give somebody an allowance and then again tax it. It is just madness.
The medics and leaders also appeal to government to, however, speed up efforts of acquiring vaccines, since reports indicate that a number of admitted COVID-19 patients are those that never got vaccinated. Story compiled by Ambrose Muhumuza for UBC News.
COVID-19 is affecting the struggle against HIV/AIDS, calling for a collective effort amongst stakeholders in the campaign. Mildmay Hospital says the turn-up for medication dropped by 50% since government instituted travel bans to curb the spread of COVID-19. The hospital is known for handling HIV-related complications.
Persons with existing medical conditions are feeling the heat of the lockdown, instated to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The lockdown is a great obstacle to the people living with HIV/AIDS in their quest for periodic medication, as the movements are curtailed.
COVID-19 has taught us that none of us is non-vulnerable. It's just we are all vulnerable to infection. So our staff have challenges coming into work because of transport, and sometimes difficulties getting off work when it is late because of the curfew.
Mildmay Hospital is reporting a 50% drop in patients' attendance since the lockdown was instituted, leaving the number of the vulnerable unattended to.
We have about 400 people coming for care. We've reduced to about 200, which is about 50%. And those are majorly adults. The teenagers and children, whenever there are transport restrictions, they are the most affected. Those have already reduced by about 60%.
The facility is receiving a big number of COVID-19 patients, which has compelled the hospital to shift priority.
I mean, people sought for answers, they found us first. And we have been providing COVID-19 testing and care for patients with COVID-19. And as you heard, we have already treated more than 50 patients with COVID-19.
The Depots Protection Fund of Uganda has supported the Mildmay Hospital with sophisticated hospital beds and oxygen cylinders worth 46.9 million shillings to strengthen the fight against COVID-19.
The effort of all the entities that care about humanity and harnessing of the synergies between state and non-state actors that will form a formidable stance to fight this pandemic. No effort is too meager as every little offered adds unto the collective sum. The nasty commitment and zeal with which Mildmay has remained steadfast in rendering quality and affordable medical services, especially in the arena of HIV/AIDS, to citizens of all walks of life, was a compelling rationale for being recognized and identified to receive this donation.
The current health system demands for harnessing of synergies between state and non-state actors in the campaign against the pandemic.
Request government to regard Mildmay Hospital as part of the national response. Ramp up the support for the hospital in terms of supplies of PPE, equipment, ICU beds. Because we have the buildings, we can convert into ICU care facilities. And of course, we need more support in terms of money. The bottom line is we should be regarded as a significant component of the COVID-19 response.
There is an additional stigma for persons infected with HIV/AIDS to test positive for COVID-19. Abdul Nasir, LUWEERO, UBC News.
UBC News. Thank you so much for watching. Here is a very short break. Do not miss what we have on return.
We've cut and reduced our MTN Momo withdrawal rates. Now you can withdraw mobile money at the lowest rates. You also get MTN Century Points when you deposit, send, and withdraw MTN mobile money. Visit our Momo agents countrywide and withdraw mobile money at our reduced rates from 1st May 2021. Everywhere you go. MTN.
COVID-19 chija kugwa. If we get vaccinated now, observe social distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly. Together we can defeat this enemy.
The Universal Periodic Review, UPR, is a unique process under the United Nations. It involves peer review of the human rights records of all UN member states every 4 years. The ultimate aim of the UPR is to help improve on the human rights situation in all countries through technical assistance and cooperation. Uganda will be reviewed in January 2022. This is an opportunity to raise international advocacy on Uganda's human rights situation. The National Coalition of Human Rights Defenders Uganda is coordinating all CSOs to participate in the CSO alternative reporting process in liaison with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. For more information, email info@hrdcoalition.ug or call 0772 484 504.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*4#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Fellow Ugandans, you know that the current COVID-19 period is a trying time in our lives. However, we still have another threat that has been with us for a long time, and it is called neglected tropical diseases, also known as NTDs. NTDs include bilharzia and worms that cause swollen stomachs. Trachoma causes blindness, and elephantiasis causes the swelling of legs. These diseases are affecting millions globally, and yet they can be prevented by regular hand washing with soap and clean running water, regular washing of the face with a soap and clean running water, keeping dirty hands away from your eyes, always using pit latrines, and discouraging open defecation in your community to avoid flies that carry germs, reporting to the health facility early when feeling unwell. Remember to stay safe and protect yourself. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from Ascend Project.
Welcome back from the break, and thank you so much for watching. Members of Parliament have welcomed new presidential appointments and transfers of permanent secretaries among other government officials. The appointments, which saw Betty Kamya named Inspector General of Government, have generated mixed reactions from the public. The MPs urge Ugandans to desist from doubting people's capacity to serve in certain positions. This appeal follows some public lamentations regarding Betty Kamya's credentials.
I do not want to preempt people's abilities. I do not want to preempt the president's decision. What I think is we should support all the people who have been put in whatever positions they are, so that we get the benefit of what they can do.
Because changes may have happened for the betterment. Maybe the previous or the formers may have not been doing what was expected of them. So with the new people or individuals in place, I believe there will be a better platform for better service delivery to the people, to our country, and to our districts at large.
I want to say that I am a bit disappointed. We have got some of our children from Bugisu sub-region who qualify to take over those positions.
We had an acting PS in OPM. We were thinking that we'll take that position, at least for the first time have somebody from Butaleja fully in that position. But we're a bit disappointed, and he was made an undersecretary nonetheless.
No single person was appointed from West Nile. Yet West Nile has a population of over 3 million people, and it has 12 districts with one city.
When it comes to northern region, the head of state thinks about only Acholi sub-region, forgetting that there is West Nile. When you look at the speaker from Acholi, when you look at the secretary general from Acholi.
If a person like Betty Kamya is given, of course, to head the institution, she's just a leader, but there are other people who will help her to make sure that at least she delivers and, of course, get the best from the Inspectorate of Government.
The president has the prerogative powers to appoint and disappoint. So whatever the president made, we have no problem with it, because he must have made a thorough research on the capacity of each and everybody there.
But of course, in life, there are always critics. Critics. You appoint an angel, they will criticize. You appoint an evil, a devil, they will criticize. So that's how the world is. With respect to the Honorable Betty Kamya, she has been a member of parliament, she has been a minister, she worked in the civil service before, she's an accomplished woman, a no-nonsense woman, and actually, to me, she's the best choice that the president could make, and I'm sure she's going to deliver as the Inspector General of Government.
River NYAMWAMBA floods have entered day 2 as the angry waters continue to ravage properties along its way. Floods have caused unimaginable loss of property, including ongoing electricity power stations.
As floods of River NYAMWAMBA enters day 2, properties continue to be destroyed. The construction of NYAMWAMBA 2 project that was aimed at boosting the current electricity supply in the region has partially been vandalized by the waters flowing from the snow-capped Mount Rwenzori.
We're affected. The flooding has caused us a big loss. We're still analyzing the losses. And however, we're not giving up. Very soon, tomorrow we are starting all the repairs which has been damaged. We're starting repairs, and by next week, Monday, we are resuming full-time work.
The project administrator, Leo Omo, says the floods have damaged the flume line that transports water from the lake to the powerhouse, and says construction materials were also washed away.
The causeway bridge, the causes there's some damage, and other access roads. That is all which has been damaged.
Meanwhile, Katiri Bridge, the only one remaining in Kilembe Valley, is at the verge of collapsing as a result of the continued river flow, which has eaten up part of its embankments. This is the 8th consecutive time the river has burst its banks and destroyed properties since 2013. Many of the bridges along this river have since been washed away. Sada Mubale, Kalisha Stephen, UBC News.
The High Court Civil Division has declined to entertain a certificate of urgency application filed by lawyers representing suspects in the attempted murder of General Edward Katumba Wamala on the 1st of June this year. In the application, lawyers wanted court to hear the Human Enforcement Rights application seeking for immediate medical attention to the accused following alleged torture inflicted on them.
A trial judge in the case of attempted murder of General Edward Katumba Wamala has declined to grant a certificate of urgency to the accused's lawyers.
Now they are talking of specialized medical treatment for torture effects.
No, the application can be heard even after 5 years. It doesn't take away the torture. The torture was there. If it was there, that's the end. You see, you can enforce your rights even after 10 years. I think 10 years is the maximum.
Yes, my lord, we are.
Musa Sekana advised the lawyers to first address their concerns to the prison authorities and to talk to the suspects before seeking court's intervention.
The one of gathering evidence of where maybe by the time the lockdown ends, the scars will have been healed, they will have been treated, will not establish just a different thing. That's a question of evidence. Make it against who? Prison authorities. Upon request, no. Apply, they refuse, then come to court and say, they have denied us access to examine when the scars or whatever is still fresh.
The accused lawyers decided to withdraw the application.
That someone who is sick, whether in prison or not, has a right to their personal doctor, especially when they're building their case, for example, a case of torture. That is why we are going to take the judge's advice and try to access them through the normal procedures of prison.
Meanwhile, the Attorney General has produced a post-mortem report of the killed suspects in the attempted murder of General Edward Katumba Wamala. The Attorney General's chambers was represented by Johnson Atwaire, who disclosed that their bodies were picked by relatives.
We are going to pursue the rights of those deceased persons because it is obvious another one was beaten. There's actually no evidence of any gunshot. Those are obvious cases of murder, and their rights to life must be enforced through their estates and their families.
Those are dead are Mustafa Kawawa, Juma Saidi, Serada Idris. However, Mulago Hospital is still stuck with the body of one Hussein Wahaburubama after failing to trace his relatives.
But they've named the relatives. They are going to try to get in touch with the relatives and ask them to claim the body. But I know that many of the relatives have chickened out because they may think they are going to follow suit. So some people fear to even go and claim a body.
The accused's legal team prayed to court to withdraw the application as it is already overtaken by events. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Two fishermen identified as Charles Ruhinda and Augustine Byakutaga are on a run over suspected murder of a UPDF officer during an enforcement patrol in Bugonga landing site on Lake Victoria. Fisheries Protection Unit Political Commissar Major Yero Mohozi says the fishermen kidnapped the officer, later murdered and dumped his body along the lake shores.
Two fishermen identified as Charles Ruhinda and Augustine Byakutaga are on a run over suspected murder of one UPDF soldier who was on a patrol in around Bugonga landing site on Lake Victoria early this week. The two fishermen are said to have taken advantage of the UPDF soldier that was on patrol alone, kidnapped him and later brutally murdering him.
But one soldier had stepped into the other illegal boat to arrest the other one. So as soon as he stepped in, they drove off and went away with him. Since then, they disappeared. It was until yesterday that we realized through information from our networks there that the soldier had been killed.
That UPDF officer was real brutal. It was real brutal. And I would like to give advice to my fellow chairpersons in each and every landing site, chairmen, to see that the screen, which whoever comes at the landing site to do any work from there should be screened. Because what we did has brought a gap between us and those who are enforcing the law on the lake.
UPDF Marines Political Commissar Major Yero Mohozi says the officer was murdered as he tried to enforce good fishing practices. The body was found floating around Gulwa fishing landing site.
It was so unfortunate and very bad, and on that note we would like to appeal to the public to desist from these criminal acts of engaging and killing enforcement officers, because we are not their enemies. We did not come to stop them from fishing. We only deal with those who conduct illegal activities.
The UPDF and CID team managed to retrieve the body, which was taken to Mulago Hospital for post-mortem. The preliminary report, however, indicates that the soldier was strangled and hit using the oars of enkasi on neck and legs. So far, one person identified as Chigundu has been arrested to help in investigations. Fishermen have been advised against such criminal acts.
And it has never, we had never seen it happen, but this time it happened, and it.
The Rotary Club of Kasana LUWEERO is determined to help boost the campaign against malaria in Uganda. This was said during the installation of new Rotary Club of LUWEERO President, Rotarian Jessica Ndagire.
Honored to stand before you on such a colorful event.
Rotary clubs around the world play a big role in the socio-economic development of communities. In Uganda, the public has benefited on many occasions and continue to do so, with promise by Rotary Club of Kasana LUWEERO targeting the fight against malaria, which still remains a big killer. Mugisha advised the fellow Rotarians to maintain the main core of their cause, but also emphasize a local language to transform society.
We believe that we must respect each other and we must make sure that we protect the lives of as many people as possible. When I go back to the Rotary side, this is one of the areas of focus under disease prevention and treatment. But when it comes to government, African leaders came together and agreed that by the year 2030, we should have zero malaria in Africa.
The new Rotary Club of Kasana LUWEERO President Rotarian Jessica Ndagire targets improving maternal and child health.
During my tenure, as we are for those of you who are Rotarians, Our RI president encourages us to ensure that we build on membership. So it has to be a fun and a membership. And amongst the strategies that we are laying, we should have service projects. Which service projects are in line with the goal for our district governor, which is fighting to make a contribution towards maternal health. And another service, another contribution is about through community engagement.
The Rotary Club of Kasana LUWEERO was inaugurated in 2020, but despite its infancy has contributed immensely to other areas like education.
Thank you so much for watching. Let us look at this world history and later we'll return with business news.
Today in history.
On July 16, 1990, more than 1,000 people are killed when a 7.7 magnitude earthquake strikes Luzon Island in the Philippines. The epicenter of the quake was north of Manila in the Nueva Ecija province. Reports indicate that the shaking went on for nearly a full minute, collapsing buildings which were the main cause of damage and death. A Christian college, a 6-story building, completely collapsed, trapping approximately 250 students and teachers inside.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 4 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
COVID-19 chijja kugwa. If we get vaccinated now, observe social distancing, wear a mask properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly. Together we can defeat this enemy.
In efforts to improve quality assurance and Uganda's competitiveness as a tourist destination, Uganda Tourism Board is set to undertake a nationwide grading and classification exercise of hotel and accommodation facilities. As a member of the East African community, Uganda subscribes to the East African Grading and Classification Criteria, a system denoted by stars ranging from 1 to 5. The grading and classification exercise will be crowned by the awarding of star ratings to facilities found compliant to the EAC minimum standards. This is therefore a call to all accommodation and facility owners and managers to register and get licensed by UTB as a requirement and get ready for participation. For more information, visit www.utb.go.ug or email qualityassurance@utb.go.ug for details. Uganda Tourism Board, promoting tourism together.
Introducing to you the Faculty of Interdisciplinary Studies, Mbarara University of Science and Technology. We run academic programs designed to create an interface between academics, industry, and the community. We aim at offering hands-on learning experience and skills that suit continuous evolving societal needs. Join the Faculty of Interdisciplinary Studies today for undergraduate training in Bachelor of Science in Planning and Community Development, Bachelor of Science in Gender and Applied Women Health, and Bachelor of Science in Agricultural Livelihoods and Farm Production. For postgraduate programs, we offer Master of Arts in Planning and Governance, Master of Arts in Development Studies, Master of Arts in Peace and Conflict Studies, Postgraduate Diploma in Criminology, and PhD in Developmental development studies. For inquiries, please contact us through our email dean.fis@mass.ac.ug or admissions@mass.ac.ug, or you can call the Dean directly on 0782 82 7777 or 0701 778699. Electronic applications are also available on our website, applications.mass.ac.ug. Succeed we must.
Uganda Tailors Association chairperson Kenneth Sechimbi is requesting government to address the plight of tailors that are facing it rough during this lockdown. This was during a COVID-19 lockdown relief to his members at the association's headquarters in Perere.
The sewing machines are empty with their owners home due to the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown.
Our nature of business is to touch on the customer. So, but now we have a social distancing. There's no way we can take measurements from the customer. There's no way we can purchase our materials because all the arcades or shopping centers are closed. So it's affected us a lot, and yet we have no people who can help us.
This has left tailors with little amidst a pandemic that has not only cost lives but also financial incapability, especially to the disabled in the tailoring trade. But the good news now is that the tailors have received some respite through food relief from partners channeled through Uganda Tailors Association.
Well, we came out with an idea of helping our fellow tailors because we realized that the fellow tailors were not among those who are going to get the relief fund from the OPM.
The partners, including Opportunity Bank, have also offered friendly loans to the tailors.
We'll now take you to the sports world, and there the Tokyo Organizing Committee has taken the wraps off some next generation spectator viewing technologies that will be part of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Augmented reality, 5G and even 12K will help spectators at sailing, swimming and golf get closer to the action than ever before.
At the Games, Noriyuki Furuno's team will be helping spectators get an upgraded experience. He works for NTT Docomo, one of Japan's major network providers.
At a normal swimming event, spectators are very much engrossed in the action, but if you want to check out player records or other stats, you have to look up at a display on a wall somewhere else. So people would have to go back and forth between the pool and the display.
But thanks to the new speed and low latency that 5G offers, spectators at swimming venues can wear a special augmented reality or AR headset. While keeping their eyes on the action, they can see who is in what lane, lap times, and if a swimmer is close to breaking a world record. These in-person experiences do depend on cutting-edge transmission technology end-to-end. Now that'll take some work, but Docomo's experienced designer Akichi Tanaka says there are interesting applications ahead.
In the future, we could send competition data directly to another pool set up in another location, replicating the swimmers in the pool and all the data that comes with it via those glasses and casting it over the empty pool. I think spectators will be able to watch and participate in sports happening very far away without being bound by their physical location.
Augmented reality isn't the only technology bringing people together. Facebook's Oculus Quest 2 headset, the one on my head right now, has sold over 10 million units according to market research. And that mass adoption is spurring businesses to bring its employees into the same space, so to speak. Gordon Cooper is a designer for vSpatial, a virtual reality collaboration software that lets users share screens and materials in real time. He says 5G and virtual reality advancements are helping people get together even without a gaming-level PC or even strong home Wi-Fi.
So as it stands today, you can have a standalone headset and you can connect
to a virtual machine hosted on the cloud. So you don't even need to own it.
And that brings us to the end of all we had for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomo with Muhammad Mugalu and the whole team. We wish you the best of the night. Let's catch you in our other programs. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in once again on UBC. Kutesa Mili with your weather update. We are still experiencing thunder showers in most parts of the country, though some few areas are still experiencing sunny intervals. Having the highest of 21.7 meters of rainfall across Masaka, that is pretty much Jinja with 12.5, Chitugum with 11.5, Mbarara with 7.3, our capital city Kampala with 6.4 millimeters of rainfall. This is due to the rainbow that has been pulled back into our country due to the moist easterly winds from the Indian Ocean touring into our country, enhanced with the local effect and some few moist air that is blowing from the Congo air mass advection still coming into our country, hence bring us that the wet activities we are experiencing lately. Tomorrow morning, though, we expect to wake up with light showers in most parts of the country, apart from some few areas like across Arua, Mbarara and Kabale that expect to have sunny intervals. After an hour, though, we expect a pickup of thunder showers, most especially in northern part of our region, some few areas in the west and some other areas in the east, but along the lake shores across some few parts in the southwestern of our country, I expect to have sunny intervals. Temperature is up to 28 degrees Celsius in northern part of our region, 27 Karamoja region, across lake shores 28, but in capital city Kampala with 27 degrees Celsius, with Kabale Highlands with a lowest of 23 degrees Celsius. U is moving out of our country touring other cities across the globe. We are forecasting sunny conditions in most parts of the country. We are seeing Abu Dhabi with a highest of 41 degrees Celsius, Cairo with 38, London with 27 degrees Celsius, Washington DC with 35, Beijing with a lowest of 27 degrees Celsius of light showers. Thanks for tuning on UBC. I remain Kutesa Mili. Stay tuned and see you tomorrow.
Welcome to English in a Minute. Are you feeling stressed? Have you been working too much?